Unalienable Vows Coalition, I want to welcome to the microphone right now my buddy Tami Fitzgerald. Give her a round of applause. Tami.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here on such a beautiful day. I want to talk to you about a part of the Constitution that you should be very familiar with. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The First Amendment's Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause are the essence of our American society and really the original reason for its founding. Yet the free exercise of religion has never been more in danger in America than today. Our religious freedom is under assault, and if the government can override our religious freedom, it can override any fundamental freedom we have. The assault is occurring in a number of places. First, if you're from Rowan County or Forsyth County, you know about the assault on public prayer. It's currently in the court system. We hope to have the Supreme Court straighten this mess out in the near future. The HHS mandate. The Obama administration issued rules under Obamacare that require all employers to provide coverage through mandated health care plans for contraceptives, abortion-inducing drugs, and sterilization. If they don't, they face crippling fines. While they have exempted churches, businesses must comply or pay up to millions of dollars in fines. The federal definition of marriage now includes same-sex couples. Last summer, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Section 3 of the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, and so the federal government now recognizes same-sex marriages legally performed in any state. Justice Kennedy's majority opinion said there was no rational basis for the belief that marriage is between one man and one woman. He said the purpose of DOMA was to disparage and injure same-sex couples, that the motivation for DOMA was to demean, to impose inequality, to impose a stigma, to deny people equal dignity, to brand gay people as unworthy, and to humiliate their children. All of this disdain just for believing that marriage is the union between a man and a woman. Justice Scalia correctly chided Justice Kennedy and said that to defend traditional marriage is not to condemn, demean, or humiliate those who would prefer other arrangements, any more than to defend the Constitution of the United States is to condemn, demean, or humiliate other constitutions. This decision is starting to have an impact on North Carolina in areas like the National Guard, where the Department of Defense has instructed our National Guard to start issuing same-sex benefits, and they're doing so. And the governor's not doing anything to stop it. The third area this is hitting is in non-discrimination laws that are threatening our ability to do business. Many states and local governments around the country have amended their non-discrimination laws and policies to include sexual orientation and gender identity, and this has created special rights for homosexuals and transgendered people, allowing them to claim discrimination and to bully those with deeply held religious beliefs. Here are just a few examples. I've got many more, but in Oregon, a family-owned bakery was forced to close due to the backlash it got from the Human Rights Commission when the owner politely declined to bake a cake for a lesbian wedding. And of course, you've heard about the New Mexico Supreme Court ruling that the First Amendment doesn't protect a photographer's right to decline to take pictures of a same-sex commitment ceremony, even though doing so would violate the photographer's deeply held religious beliefs as a Christian. There are many, many more examples. Although North Carolina, fortunately, has not added sexual orientation and gender identity to its non-discrimination laws, every year attempts are made at the General Assembly to do so. And some of our local governments have done this. Raleigh, Charlotte, Boone, Carrboro, Chapel Hill, Orange County, and all of our public universities have non-discrimination clauses protecting sexual orientation and gender identity. These local laws are used to trump fundamental civil liberties such as freedom of speech and the free exercise of religion. We must be vigilant not to allow sexual orientation and gender identity to be added to our laws. And then we have our own marriage lawsuit. The ACLU has filed suit in federal court to overturn our marriage amendment. These are the fundamental values that the North Carolina Values Coalition works to preserve and defend: faith, family, and freedom. After leading the fight to get the marriage amendment passed, we've gone to the front lines of the General Assembly, the courts, and your local governments to live out, to ensure that your family can freely practice its religion and live out your faith in everyday life. But we need your help. So here's what you can do to take action. Last week in Congress, the Marriage and Religious Freedom Act was introduced by Representative Labrador. 3 of our North Carolina congressmen have co-sponsored it. Congressman Meadows, Congressman Hudson, and Congressman Jones. You can call your congressman and ask them to co-sponsor this bill and help get it passed. It's going to protect those who believe that marriage is between one man and one woman from being discriminated against in the workplace, through IRS tax laws, and through all sorts of contracts with federal government. You can call your state legislators and ask them to pass similar legislation. Last year, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act was introduced in the General Assembly, but it didn't go anywhere. Ask them to pass that. Ask them to pass a bill outlawing non-discrimination laws at the local level. And then you can call Governor McCrory and ask him to defend our marriage amendment so that the National Guard is not handing out benefits to same-sex couples, and to make sure that our marriage amendment is adequately defended. If you would like to join us in this fight, we ask you to sign up at our table in the back. We have the Pledge to Vote card, and you can receive weekly updates from us. And we thank you so much for your support already and for inviting us here today.
Tami Fitzgerald, North Carolina, Family Value School Issue.